In this video, we'll be interviewing one of my students who scaled from $0 to $200,000 after 3 months of joining my mentorship program. What makes this video extra unique is Chad B and I first posted a testimonial 2.5 months ago after he made $39,000 after only 2 weeks of joining my program. And in this video, we are interviewing Chad for a second time, hearing about his journey from that first video all the way up until now, having generated over 200K. Let's get started. So do you want to update the viewers with how much revenue your store has currently generated, how many winning products you've been through, just sort of like to fill in the gap from that last video until now?
Absolutely. So yeah, I've generated about $200,000 on the store so far.
Legendary, bro.
So I've had, I think, 3 winning products now. Honestly, the second one probably still could be considered a winner if I just got my own UGC content, just only limited content out there.
So you were just using content that was already available for that second product?
And yeah, just re-editing it,
Awesome.
for my own.
Of the 200,000 that you've generated so far, do you know what your profits are currently at?
I'd say probably about 17%. So it is a little bit lower, but I was testing a lot, honestly, and to be 100% transparent again, I just really wasn't on my numbers as much as I should have been. But nonetheless, I'm not mad about it at all. So it was a learning experience.
Typically that first winner, I have seen some people overspend a little bit just because you're so happy you got profits and you want to test everything just to see. And then of course, there's other things on the back end like transaction fees, which you might not realize add up. But still, 17% of 200K in what is it? 4 months essentially, that's still like 30-40K net profit. So overall, like that's pretty good for just getting started with e-commerce.
Yeah, so it's closer to 30, so it might be a little less than that, but yeah. And the thing is, it's like it's all been prolonged because I've had the reserve with Shopify, and it actually lifts next week, so I'll get all that money.
How do you balance your life out? Like for the viewers at home, you have a pretty busy life. You got a family, you have kids, you have church, you have a full-time job, and you're still running up e-com stores. So like you go to show like it doesn't matter how much you have on your plate. If something's important, you make time for it. So how do you stay like disciplined and organized in that aspect?
So I'm blessed to, I guess technically I'm a contractor, so I work for myself full time. So I'm literally home all the time because I do calls, Zoom calls. So in between my calls, I'm working on my store. Most days I've only have 30 minutes in between each call, but there's some days I may have a couple hours in between each call. So during that time, I'm working on my store. In the evenings, before I go to bed, I'm working on my store. So it's like for me, I'll be honest, sometimes I'm going to my son's baseball game and I've got my laptop with me. Yeah, before I walk in, I'm like, hey, let me check these ads. Let me turn this off real quick. And, you just gotta make time. People say, oh, well, I don't have the time. Well, you do. Instead of scrolling TikTok aimlessly, you can be working on your store, working on your business and building that. So you just got to make the time, really.
That's good. Yeah, a lot of people make up some excuses, but taking the laptop, to check in the car real quick, that's next level.
For sure. She's always like, you bring your laptop. Why you bring your laptop? I'm like, I need you to drive. I got to check these ads and I'll be done. So
that's good. Going forward then, so over like the next few months, what sort of goals are you aiming for with e-com?
So my goal is really just to build capital and then start an actual brand. That's what I really want to do, is start an actual brand, something with more longevity and something, of course, that I can exit eventually if I choose to do so. And
based on your current few months of e-com, do you believe you have the skills to do that?
Absolutely, I really do.
I believe it too. I wanted to hear you say it. What reasons give you that confidence? Is it like you understand products now, you understand ads? Like what is it that makes you so convicted in yourself?
So it's all combined, right? So I don't want to come off like it's boastful or arrogant. That's not what I mean by that. But I am confident in myself because for me, the first winter, I'm like, okay, it could have been a fluke. Let me see if I can do it again. Second winter, I'm like, okay, maybe I am starting to be able to have an eye for a winner. The third one, I'm like, all right, I feel confident. If I can do it 3 times, I can do it 4 or 5. And you really just you find out what to look for, like you say, in your data. A lot of people, even now in like in my DMs on Discord, they'll send me a snap or a picture of their data. I'm like, okay, what do I do? So you learn on like what you need to change, what needs to
reading the metrics.
Absolutely, that's very important. Your data is going to tell you everything that you need to know about your funnel, your product, and what needs to change. So.
And for transparency as well, it's not like you only tested 3 products and you ran that up. How many products would you say it took you to find those 3? Like what ratio? 1 in every X? Do you think you're pretty confident you can get a product?
I'll be honest, first 3, like it may have been some flukes because it was like I didn't test. So the first one, my first winner was my first product I tested on the store. The second one was literally the second product I tested. And the third, there was 3 products in between that one.
That's still very good, bro. I tell people my ratio is 1 in 5 usually, like 20%. So the fact that you're doing better than me in terms of finding some products, very good. A good sign for sure.
Could be flukes, man. I think 1 in 5 is very reasonable, honestly. So, it could be flukes for sure. We're going to find out because I'm starting to test again now.
Okay. And for people who are on the fence about like joining a mentorship program for some extra guidance, what would you say to them? Because you've had a pretty positive experience over these last few months.
100%. You need to join it because, it's truly going to shorten your road to success because all the mistakes you're going to make on your own, if you got a mentor who's already made them, they're going to give you a shortcut. Take this route instead because we can go around those roadblocks and get to where you want to be a lot quicker. So 100%, I would recommend a mentor. I'm a bit biased. I would recommend Anthony's mentorship myself personally. If it's not Anthony, just make sure you do your due diligence because there's a lot of gurus out here who aren't actually practicing what they preach. And, you could waste some funds. And I've done that too, prior to joining your mentorship.
Where do you think you would be if you hadn't joined this? Do you think you would still be drop shipping? Like our first video was back in January. So imagine we never met then. You've had quite a lot of time, lots of success. What do you think you would be doing right now?
Honestly, I'm not sure I would. I don't think I would be as successful. I'll say that. I'm not going to give up. But honestly, you and your team, the other coaches talked me off a cliff a couple of times because it does get frustrating at times when, again, shutdowns, whether it be, all right, it's a winning product, but the new creatives aren't taking off the way you thought they would, or
always new issues popping up, problems to solve.
Absolutely. So, and that's really the job as an entrepreneur. It's really you're putting out fires, and it's not for everybody. So I'll say that for sure. But I definitely don't think I would be where I'm at right now if it wasn't for the mentorship. 100%.
And one thing to add on, in the beginning, like you experience a lot of problems technically just because it's new stuff, but it's usually very simple to solve. And then at the point you're at now, like if a problem does arise, I'm sure you have the solution like in your back pocket ready to pull out. Easy fix. To wrap up the video then, do you want to give like a last piece of advice or words of wisdom for people who still haven't found that success yet?
Yeah, pretty simple. And actually, I would just say competition's okay. So I get a lot of questions like, well, I see other people running this product. That's not a bad thing because if somebody else is scaling it, that means there is demand for that product. And, like I've always said, quit overthinking it. I tell people all the time, stop overthinking it. Just take action. That's what I'd say. Just put in the work, take action, and eventually you'll get there.
So that is it for today. If you are looking to build a 5 to 10K per month dropshipping store, then click the first link down in the description or pinned comment below, fill out the form on the website, and lock in a call to join my VIP program. On the screen now is a playlist of a ton of other student testimonials. Check those out, and you and I will talk on the inside.